battlefield.
Under the laws of war, the amount of force that is used has to be justified, has to be weighed up against the expected military gain. And there are legal obligations on people, on the military, to avoid civilian casualties, to not use a level of force that is likely to cause harm to civilians.
American officers complained to us that their Afghan critics apply double standards by seemingly ignoring the Taliban's willingness to use civilians as human shields.
They know that the Taliban are not respecting any rules and the international laws. They know that they are sometimes forcing them to stay in your house and making them a human shield. But because they expect the international troops that you are holding high standards, you are claiming that you are protecting and preserving the international humanitarian law, you should be careful in conduct of your operation.
General Callan concluded that US forces had used necessary and proportionate force during the attack on Azizabad, despite the huge civilian death toll. His report blames the Taliban because they chose fighting positions in close proximity to civilians. Yet it was the Americans who attacked Azizabad on a night when they should have known that there were a large number of additional women and children staying in the village.
It begs the question, if for an incident like that, they don't hold their own people to account for what went wrong and for the number of innocent lives that were lost, for very little military gain, if any, what will they hold their people to account for?
But our investigation found that there are serious questions about whether there were any Taliban in the village at all. The Taliban do operate in the region. The local police chief took us to the site of a suicide attack on an American convoy just 2 miles from the village. However, violence here is considerably less than in Helmand. But Azizabad is a pro-government village. Many of the men there work for a British subcontractor on the American base. Azizabad's leader, Gul Hamed, showed us identity cards of villagers who received police training or who worked on the base, many of whom are now dead. Because the Taliban attack Afghans who work for the government or the international coalition, many of the villagers initially thought it was the Taliban who were firing on Azizabad.
چراول زبام تو ختم مش فکر د طالبانو کې مش طالبانو سره چې مش دا ټول کوي چې د مش طالبانو مخالف مش طالب چې مش وساره وګیر کې وایته د امریکا سره تز دولت از دغه چې وسګیر کې وایته کافرانه سو او مش اسلام په مش حکم د کافر کې وایته کافر اسول په دولت کې درې ول مش سره نه درې هغه دغه شپرال رخصت چې مو کته سراچی را لزم واخد د بام سره طالبان ژغ مکر پر دغه مال طالبان را چې دوباره یو ارداسي نفاره دلته پیاده کړ نفاره چې پیاده کړ بس د دې خو ضربې ولې ضربې چول د سور علاماتو د سور علامات د دغه کې په د کوټې باندې دوباره د پاسه بس تیاری و بمبارک چې بمبارک مال امریکایان چې امریکایان د پر بام باندې وخت دوباره پر ما راکټ و راکټ چې وای یو دغه غمامات چې څو یو زوم دوباره ځم ولیدم دوباره د خپل دغه مې وتړل د شو دغه مې وتړل د اسرالم دغه طرف
The Afghan Independent Human Rights Commission sent a team to Azizabad to investigate.
This boy showed me that there are some blood stains here, as you see. As you see here, this is the blood shells. Blood stains and stuff. Blood and stains.
They found that 13 men of fighting age were killed. They believe these men engaged the American and Afghan forces who entered the village.
We could not, however, establish any link between these 13 people and the insurgents and the Taliban. We could not come to a conclusion that these people were actually linked with the Taliban, but we did found that they at least engaged for 20 minutes in fighting against the Afghan forces and the US forces in the village.
طالبیتم رختی میپوشه از کودک است یا سر است اگر طالب است لباس کودک اینا خون است اینا تیکه تیکه است اینا با آتش بسوخته تمام همین توتاها گوشت جمع کردیم ما از این خونه های توتاها گوشت جمع کردیم تمام کودک بود یا سیاسر بود یا سفید بود یا همین تو بیچاره مردم غریب بیچاره بود
تیکه تیکه و چوکا شده به خون و مقصد این همه آشته شده.
Last year, the Afghan Human Rights Commission investigated over 50 cases across Afghanistan, where local people were contesting the international coalition's version of events. Here in Kaprisa, 75 miles east of Kabul, it concluded last month that US Special Forces unlawfully killed 15 men they claimed were Taliban.
I can see some lead, a bullet. It's the point of a bullet? Yeah, the point of a bullet.
The Commission points out that although the Taliban are responsible for over half of civilian deaths in the war, the Afghan perception is that the tactics of the international forces show little regard for the lives of civilians.
There were more than 2,000 people killed in 2008 last year, more than 2,000 civilians, and of those, a quarter were killed by airstrikes by international forces. We're not just talking about the humanitarian tragedy that is involved in these civilian casualties. We're also dealing with undermining the military effort itself. You can't fight an insurgency when you're losing so much support from the Afghan people.
Despite the high political cost of airstrikes that go wrong, the international forces' dependence on air power is set to increase. With President Obama now sending an additional 21,000 combat troops to Afghanistan, they are likely to need more air support, not less. New bombing procedures designed to ensure accurate targeting have been put into place as a result of Azizabad. But if the intelligence on the ground is wrong, there is little a pilot can do to avoid killing the wrong people. These new procedures hadn't been entirely effective. Last month in the western province of Farah, a village was bombed and dozens of civilians killed. Like Azizabad, the final figures are disputed, but several independent organizations believe between 63 and 85 women and children died. Unlike Azizabad, the Americans have admitted they made mistakes, and there were definitely Taliban fighters in the vicinity.
In Azizabad, there's less evidence to actually establish this fact that there was a group of Taliban coming from somewhere else and launching or using this village against it, because there's much more indicators that show us the other way that this community wanted, because they had good business and they wanted their community not to be harmed or disturbed by the Taliban.